Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Final Girl unboxing for the solo horror survival game. This is for Series 2 Ultimate Box / Storage Box. And I say it like that because you can either purchase this as the Ultimate Box, which is going to have everything included that I'm about to show, or you might find this as just the storage box, which then means you're going to have certain things that might be in there, and then other stuff you have to pick up later, like all the different feature films. So just when you are, or if you're picking this up or ordering this somewhere or picking up in the store, make sure you know which one you're buying. If you're buying the thing that has everything, or you're just doing the storage box. And then even if you're buying the storage box, make sure you're buying it that has the extra boxes included in there, and you're not just buying like the full empty box. Because if someone's selling this on eBay or something and they might say, oh, storage box, they might just literally mean the empty box and nothing else. The artwork on here is really cool. It shows all our different Final Girls from the 5 games in here, plus the vignette expansion. Plus we have all our killers up at the top there. We have some neat artwork on the side. What's also pretty cool is if you put this up next to box number 1, face this way, it kind of adds into a pattern going all the way across. If we flip over to the back side, now it is going to say in here though, included in this box, it's going to have the box of props or the Final Girl cover box, so see the sheet. So that's something else to keep in mind to know which one this is included in. I scratched up the bottom of the box. The 5 feature films, cast and crew box, not pictured. Bonus features not pictured, and series game 2 mechs. Miniatures are optional, they will work in here. Other optional series 2 items, the vignette, terror from the grave pack, miniatures pack, vehicle pack, terror from the grave miniatures packs, box of props if this had the core box. So you do want to watch because they did make some of these that had the core game, so if someone wanted to pick this up, they could play it entirely as just the game. They didn't have to go and buy a separate core box. Or the Grutham deck books, which as of this coming out wasn't available. Came out when Series 3 did. Note, contents listed above may vary or may not be included as boxes. We've received as part of our Kickstarter campaign. So again, this being the Ultimate Box has all this stuff. They might just sell it as just a storage box with a couple of the things that are not part of the regular retail releases, or they might also sell it as just an empty storage box. So I'm not going to go through each and every expansion here, feature film. I have the other videos, you can check out that. But this is nice because it does hold all the different stuff in here. So we have our 5 main ones. We have the special box of props, which may be swapped out for the core box instead. And if you, like, let's say even if you pick up this box and you have to go and buy a core box by itself, you can combine them together and put them in this one box. You don't have to store it. If you have the first series, then you can have one there, or you could pop this out and put in the if you ended up picking up the North Pole set, you can always pop this out and put this one in there instead. Then you'd have a storage space for that as well. So that's a possibility to do there. And then mix the box of prop. Whoops. We're going to lose everything. And you could mix the box of props with the base game stuff as well. So there's a couple of options there, which is really neat. Now on the other side, we have cast and crew and bonus features. So the stuff we're going to go over in this video are going to be the box of props, cast and crew bonus features, and the playmats up here. We're not going to go through again all these other expansions, but I do want to pull these out so we can look at what the box looks like on the inside, which is pretty neat. So we're going to drop all these down here out of the way. And then if we flip this up, it's going to have a picture with each one. So on there, it's going to have the box of props. And then here it's going to have those 2 pictures. Now again, you don't have to put these in these order. You could put the box of props and the core set all over here next to that if you want. You can do it however you want. This also comes out, and it's our playmats. We'll look at those in a little bit. But yeah, I want to go through some of these other boxes really quick. So I'm going to just pop these all out. set this back on the floor, get it out of the way. So I first of all want to just go through this bonus features series 2. So what this includes in here, if we open this up, it's going to include the following things. Series 2 lore and scenario book, the Series 2 feature film rule book, and then if you purchase the Gruesome Death books, which aren't available in here, it'll put them in. So it's going to store all of this stuff, but these two aren't in there. What we do get is we get some new epic finale cards for the five main sets, which are really fun. We'll look at those. And then the other thing it comes with is the featured film rulebook. So again, if you want the lore and scenario and the gruesome death, those are sold separate. So like, I do have the lore and scenario book here, so I can drop that in there and keep that in there. And that's available in another video. But yeah, what this is really cool with the feature film books, this just has all your rules. You have like USS Conrad. And instead of having those little sheets you have to pull out of every single box, you can just grab this book. Bigger, a little bit easier to read. Like, so if I compare one of these sizes. So like, here's USS Conrad normally. Here's the bigger size. A little bit easier to read. And a bigger size, you know, everything. A little bit bigger text. Everything there kind of spaces stuff out a little bit nicer. So I really like this. Plus, it's for everything. So if I'm playing USS Conrad and I want to flip over and playing with the intruders, I don't have to go to... I have them all in one box. I'm pretty much keeping them sheets floating around, so it's really nice. Yeah, it goes through each different one. I think it does the location first, and then it does the killer. What's also cool is they have achievements in here, so it's saying like, win a game on the USS Contract, win using a self-destruct, win the game where half the victims are saved, defeat the killer with the super loader. So yeah, save the orphan and killing us the cat. So there's some different challenges there. Then the same thing if we jump into this one. Gonna show it's all in there, shows how those all work. And then some of those. Defeat the evil morph at 5 different locations. Defeat them on the Conrad. Defeat them in extreme horror mode. Remove 2 stand cards from the game. So yeah, some very interesting, different extra ways to play the game as well. Just giving you some challenges to do, and it goes through all of them. And at the end, it also goes through the Terror from the Grave vignette, which is very nice for that. Shows you how to play that, how to win. And then also has all the extra rules for all the vehicles in here as well. And this is really nice too, because that was on a weird fold-out sheet, so this actually makes it easier to find that. So this can all be stored right in there. And then we said we had some extra cards for each character. So let's take a look at those. So now these can then just be added into the boxes. So we already had the epic dark powers in every set, which could just initially make the game a lot more harder. These are epic finales, so they can make the game even harder if you want to include them. Either shuffling them randomly, or have that be the one you know you're going to play. So it's the Big Bad Wolf. He's going to keep the same effects at the top. But if we flip him over, he has one more bite. He's attacking Gretel there. Target 1, move, attack. Target 1, move, attack. And then target and move. If the Big Bad Wolf did not attack, move to the closest target and perform an attack. So he's going to attack somebody. We have the organisms. We're going to get final assimilation. When this card is revealed, any remaining exposed victims are immediately assimilated. If you are ever in the same space as a mutated organism that has full health during the killer phase, you have been assimilated and lose the game. They were all about having different ways to lose, so here it's just now you just have to be in the same location as them. For the intruders, we are going to get, we know where you live. Oh, it's creepy like they're hanging out in that house. Target 1, move, double attack, and then change to the next upper killer. When revealed, all killers get a move and attack. We have the Evomorph, who gets impenetrable armor. Target, move, attack. Reduce all damage inflicted to the Evomorph by 2 to a minimum of 1. Oh. Basically means you have to almost kill him with the airlock or the self-destruct or possibly the flamethrower. It really reduces your options. And then we have Ratchet Lady at the end, and she has Enter the Madhouse. So she gets to target the final girl, and then move and attack, and then the minions get to move and attack. When revealed, spawn 4 maniacs in the Ratchet Lady's space, then Ratchet Lady recovers 6 more health. Yay, because she loves her health. Cool. So that's what was in that box. And again, you can just add those now into each different expansion. If you pick this up and you haven't, like as a storage box, you don't yet have the characters, hey, you have some extra cards right away. Then we have the cast and crew box, little red one here. This one comes empty. I will fill this up and we'll show what that looks like. What this does is it has a spot for each of the miniatures if you decide to pick them up. And it shows on here where each one goes. You put all your Final Girl cards under here, all their secret envelope cards under there as well. Plus, if you have Terror from the Grave, you can put all your zombie miniatures in there, plus the expansion in or out of the box, either way, however you choose to do it. This pops right out, so you have a spot for your cards. So what's really cool about this thing is instead of keeping all your Final Girls in the core set, you keep them all in here, and then you're like, oh, I gotta come through and pick my Final Girl. You can grab your miniature at the same time. And then they have one of these additionally for the regular game. What's also cool about this is it is the same size as another expansion, or it's just a little bit less, but not much, but enough that if you don't have any of the miniatures and you don't care, but you have an extra set, let's say you bought Season 2 and you bought one set from Season 1, or you bought the North Pole expansion, you can always take this out and replace it with one of the other ones. So that is also a fun thing to do. So I'm going to fill that up really quickly. Alright, so I have filled this back up. So here we have our Terror from the Grave set here. All the zombies in there for the miniatures. Or, if you don't have the miniatures, you can always dump all your tokens in there as well. The box can either come out, you can either use it in there, or you can take everything out and just set all the cards in there as well. Either way, again, if you take all the tokens out, it's a little bit more room in the box. What is nice, though, is these boxes are designed to fit the big boxes here, all designed to hold sleeved content. Plus, if you have this, you can take the rule sheet out and toss that, which, again, besides having the tokens out, or that helps up free a little bit of extra room. I wouldn't want to dump the tokens in with the miniatures, though, so, I mean, unfortunately, if you get one or the other first. Yeah, so all our girls are there. I do like the little thing on the side, showing who's all who, so I don't have to constantly look all the time. Like the actual miniature box, like when you get that, it's just a big giant box. You don't know who's who without pulling them out. Now, if we flip this over, I have sleeved all of my secret cards. I have sleeved all of my Final Girls. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus the vignette one. And they all fit in there nicely. Now, to be honest here, is that in Series 3, I think they have another box just for all the promo characters, the 2 vignettes, any of the promo stuff. So Patsy will eventually move to that to go with the miniatures that go with that set. But for now, like, you don't own it and you have this, it makes perfect sense to put her in there. They've all fit in there very nicely. I do wish there was a cover over this so that these guys maybe weren't bouncing around as much, but it's not that big of a deal. We'll flap that in there, and that is our cast and crew box. I just want to show off this thing. So, like, I had the Ratchet Lady. So we open up her box. I have her miniature in there now. I have my new card added in there. So that fits in there as well. So you can fit all your other miniatures. Some of the ones that have 3 sets, they'll fit in there as well. Same thing if I flip this to the other side. I now have my vehicle in there with all my tokens. So that way when I go to play these, I can go ahead and throw my miniatures. I have everything sleeved. Again, depending on what type of sleeves and what thickness, they should fit. Like this one fits a little bit tight. But if I go underneath, it's also because I have all of these guys sleeved. So they fit a little, this has a hefty item deck versus more than some of the others. Because it has all your events in this setup, and it has all these pill cards as well. So like most of them probably won't have this many item cards. So keep that in mind. That's also what's pushing this side up a little bit. But they still fit in there once you slap that top on. I just gotta kind of watch to make sure I don't accidentally bend one of these. But again, I think this is a rare exception to that rule. Like, I don't have any other ones sleeved, so I can't show you any of them immediately. Alright, then the last thing we had in here for big boxes, or little boxes, is the box of props. So this is a fun new thing you can get, which is an upgraded set. So you have a box of props rulebook, Book of Desperate Deaths, which is neat. That's just a bunch of random stuff tossed in here. So we're going to have a bunch of new promo characters. So 4 new ones there. We have a new set of signature action cards, which are really neat. Giving some extra actions to some of the characters. We have some new dice in here. Some special dice. We have some upgraded meeples. We have upgraded health tokens. And if I can dump this out, we have a new Ultimate Dice Box card. Ultimate Dice card. So this is just upgraded components. Again, you can dump everything back in here and keep this. Or you could add everything into the core box. And we'll see what that kind of looks like as well. But let's go ahead and look at what some of this stuff is and what it does. So first of all, we have this bag of dice. Let's look at this Ultimate Dice and see what this does. I'm going to set that out of the way. So we're going to move this black one out of the way because that one doesn't count. But what we have in here, and we have a rule book for this as well, which we will get to in just a moment. We have a yellow guy, which has hit counters on it. So it has 3 blank sides, 2 doubles, and a single damage. We have a gray one for horror. Same thing, 3 blank, 2 singles, and a double. There's a little bit more singles on there, but we have a time one, which has 1 empty side, but it has 2 double times. All the rest are single times. We have a blue walk or run dice, which has 2 blank sides, or 3 blank sides, sorry. 2 doubles, 1 double, 2 extra walks. A brown one for searching. So this one actually has 3 blanks and then just 3 search cards. And then we have a white one for health, which has 1 blank side, 2 double, a double, a triple, and a couple of singles on there. So what do these Ultimate Dice do? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and jump into guys. We have some of the upgrades looked at too. So the Ultimate Dice are 6 different custom dice that are optional when you unlock the Final Girl's ultimate ability. There are also an Ultimate Dice card to show you which dice are eligible for you to take. So Tier 1s, Tier 2s, and Tier 3s. How to earn an Ultimate Die. When you save enough victims to unlock your Final Girl's ultimate ability, the back of their card, you instead choose to take an Ultimate Die. To do this, take the victims you save and place them on the Ultimate Dice card. If you have 0 to 3 victims on the card currently, it only applies to Julia for set series 1 and 2. You need to continue to save victims until you have at least 4 to be eligible to take an Ultimate Die. If you have 4 victims on your card, you may take 1 die from Tier 2. If you have 5 victims, you may take 1 die from Tier 2 or 3. If you have 6 victims, you may take 1 die from any tier. If your ultimate ability unlocks, but you would like to save more victims to get a higher tier, you can wait to take your ultimate dice before you're ready, but you do not get to use your normal ultimate ability once you commit the victims to the ultimate dice. Once you take the ultimate dice, you're committed, and that will be your ultimate dice for the rest of the game. So this is kind of neat, because some of the characters, if you're trying to play like scenario-wise, or just with whatever came in the box, maybe what's what you have available, this gives you an alternate option, or maybe with that versus that killer, or versus that location, that particular Final Girl's ability, if you're just randomly drawing them, might not be as effective. This gives you at least an option. Or maybe it is normally a pretty decent ability, but in the given situation where you're at, maybe it's like, oh, I just search for good items. Well, I already have the items I need, so I'd like something else. This is what it lets you do. Each ultimate dice can be used when resolving any action that enhances the effect of the associated action card. A normal action card is listed below, but you can use your judgment for deciding if you can roll your dice with signature actions, location specific actions, or anything else that comes in the future. When resolving eligible actions, you'll roll your ultimate dice in addition to your red die indicated by the horror level. And depending on the result, you may add the effect from the ultimate dice to the result. Note, typically not get the bonus from ultimate dice if the action is not generating an effect by the type. For example, if you resolve a weak attack but fail, you're not getting additional damage from the damage die. So, alright, so this is how this is going to work. So, you're going to show off the dice. I love them. They show the dice like these. So, tier 1. So, let's look at this really quick. We have the ultimate dice thing. So, if you have 4 people, you put them here. You can get a search action or a health action. If you get 2 or 5, you get time or movement. If you get 6, you get damage or minus horror. So basically, the more guys you rescue, the better you get. This is also like kind of gives you just that additional, the additional ability to do some other cool stuff. So like, just for example, if we look at our first one, we have Layla. She can rescue up to 5 people, but you can keep rescuing more people. You just don't get your ultimate ability. You can instead choose to do this. Now, I would opt that you still get their back bonus thing for each additional victim. You still get that. I would say you still get that little ability on there. You just don't get the main one. So what do each one kind of do? Ultimate health dice when you use short rest and long rest recovers 1 additional health for each chart showing. Must generate at least 1 health in addition. And then ultimate search dice. Draw 1 additional item card for each icon shown. This does not let you take an extra item, but gives you more choices on what to take. It's like a 50-50 shot. But hey, it's better than absolutely having no extra chance. Now, they were saying that you could possibly do this for something else. If you have another card that would let you gain health, you could opt to roll a health icon, or the die, anytime you have to roll anything that gives you health. It would give you an additional. Same like search. If you have anything that gives you search options, instead of just a search card. So that's kind of up to you. The time die, focus and distraction, gaining indicated extra time. This applies even after the result if the cards you lose time. So if you gain time from another time die, but lose one in the action card result, the net effect would be you either lose or gain time. And then movement with walk or sprint, you may move an additional space for each icon. Your action must be granted at least 1 space to take movement. So time's like the one that you gain it no matter what. For tier 3, we have horror die, focus, distraction, fear strike, and critical blow. Reduce horror an additional amount based on the negative, the minus horror icon. All action must grant at least 1. And the damage dice, weak, fear strike, retaliate, and critical blow. You may add the additional damage to each icon to the action, grant at least 1. Now again, if you want to make your game even easier, you could always add that to be works as weapons as well, instead of just that. So optional variants. The penultimate dice. Start with 1 ultimate dice of your choice if you want to ease your game. So I think that's kind of cool too. If like you're struggling, add an extra one of these dice to maybe make up for your character's weakness. They have low health, give them extra health. You have a scenario where you really need to find items, give them the extra item card. They deal finding that killer keeps doing too much horror, or you can't damage them quick enough. You can get it. Again, it's your game. Makes it kind of fun. Upgrade dice. Anytime you save a victim after you select your ultimate dice, you may exchange your dice for another type. I think that's actually a really cool, almost just should be in there. Maybe you rescue 4 guys and you want some extra health, but then after you're back up to full health and you're not as worried, maybe then you need to switch over to movement. And every time, though, you have to rescue a new guy to switch to a different guy. So it kind of lets you get some options. And ultimate desperation. You may remove your ultimate dice from the game and use the desperation die a second time. Interesting. So that's kind of, we haven't gotten into the desperation die yet. So let's jump into that. Since that is the next dice in the game that we have. That's this black one here, which will have a skull icon, or it will have a 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's no 1 on here. So what does the desperation die do? Special black die can and should be Only used in the most desperate of circumstances. It features 5 sides that have successful symbols and one side that has the death symbol. Once per game, you may choose to replace one of your red die with this one for a single roll. Roll with your other red dice, if any, based on the horror level, and apply the results. Add a success to your die for the total rolled, or you lose the game. So it's an automatic success, except for the one time when you automatically lose the game. So if you absolutely I need to get this action to be able to kill the to take out the killer. So roll this. It's your 50-50 shot, basically. Or if I need to get this extra movement to get this guy here, otherwise everything's going to snowball and going to go downhill. Otherwise, a killer will kill them, and then they'll gain extra bloodlust, which can do extra damage. So it's worth the risk. You just lose a game due to an all-or-nothing attempt with a Desperation die. Consult the Book of Desperation Deaths and find the action you were trying to use when it happened. You'll find a paragraph detailing how you died. So this is also another really cool idea. So they also had, with the ultimate thing, is you could, instead your ultimate abilities, you could roll this a second time. So that's kind of a neat thing there. Again, it's a one and done. So we have this extra book. It's the Book of Desperation Deaths. This is actually kind of cool. So we have, for example, if you have your core actions, you were trying to do a focus action and you rolled your skull and you died. It's going to give you a little paragraph explaining how you died. You attempt to focus your situation and manage a growing sense of horror that is threatening to overtake you. You've got this. You can save everyone. You can beat it. But those words ring hollow in your head. It's hopeless and you know it. You sit down, close your eyes, exhausted from fighting the tide of dread that is about to consume you. You don't even hear a sound behind you or see the dark foreign blot of the light. It'll all be over soon. You think to yourself, in a moment it is. So it's all these different stuff. So if you're trying to do a walk or a weak attack or a guard or whatever happened, you could die doing a search action. So it's kind of fun because it just gives you another thing. We do have the gruesome deaths from the other books you can get, which in that video I explained. The gruesome deaths, so if Hans the Killer played this card or did this action, this is at this location, this is how he would have killed you. This is kind of just an extra way for that. So we have all the core actions in the game from all the different sets. We have signature actions, so these are some of the new ones you might get, and then featured films, so some of the action cards from the featured films. So if you're doing Fly Faster or Scan, from this is the one with the organism, this is the one with the Evomorph, Convinced from Maple Lane, Atonement from Sacred Grove. So yeah, just currently. So it doesn't include, so Series 1, Series 2 does not include Series 3, so hopefully they'll add another little flappy book for that, which is really cool. Alright, then the next new content we have are signature action cards. These are unique action cards that are meant to be signature sort of moves, a special tool in the belt of your final girl. She can make use of. Before starting the game, choose or select at random one signature action card to use for that game. Place the action card in the tableau as an additional card available per person. This card functions like any other action, so it goes back in the tableau of active use, and maybe discard for time converted, etc. So this is kind of neat, because it just gives you, you can play the same game 3-4 times in a row, but you can get additional special actions. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I don't know if there's one necessarily meant to be this is supposed to be this final girl's ability, this is supposed to be this, because between Series 1 and 2 there would be 20 characters, not including promos, but these are kind of neat. I'm going to zoom this down a little bit more so we can zoom back out and have this be a little bit more focused. So we have Dodge. 2 successes, reduce damage from an attack by 2 and then move up to 1 space. 1 success, reduce damage by 1, move up to 1 space. Or none, take all damage from the attack and panic yourself. Miss me, now you gotta kiss my ass. I like to have some more reaction cards which are fun. We have Protect. May only be played as a reaction when a killer attacks a victim. Double success, remove damage from the attacker by 2, and take any remaining damage instead of the victim. Reduce it by 1 and take any remaining. Take all damage instead of the victim, or take damage and the victim is still killed. Quick, get behind me. We have Ambush. May only be played as a reaction when the killer moves into your space. Do double hits and then immediately end the killer phase. Or do 1 damage. or do 1 damage, take a hit, and gain a horror. Not yet, now. Now, that's actually pretty not a bad thing to have, like, especially for some of these guys that move around a lot. We have double up. Pay the time cost of an action card you just resolved to return it to your hand. Just keep swinging, swinging. That's a fun one to have. How many times can you be like, oh crap, I need to move again, or oh, if I had 1 more attack, well, the guy's right here, I could take him out. Or I need to reduce horror a second time. We have throw. Discard a weapon with a range 0 to deal that weapon's damage to an enemy 1 or 2 spaces away. Or discard a weapon range 0 to deal 1 hit to an enemy 1 space away and lose a time, or discard that weapon with 0 range. You throw it and you miss. Isn't normally used this way, but here goes. Now this could be a great way to, if you have something that's like last minute ditch effort attack, or you have another weapon in your backpack, like I have the knife, but I just grabbed the baseball bat, which could be arguably better if you don't have a second-handed weapon. So that's kind of fun. Intimidate. Flip the dark power card face down until the next upkeep and lose a horror. Or just flip it face down until the next turn, or just gain a horror. You should be the one who's afraid. That's kind of helpful. Shuts off their dark power, at least for a turn. It would be kind of neat if it turned it off until they killed someone. That would have been almost more neat. We have Meditate, gain 2 health, reduce horror, and gain 2 time. Or gain a health, reduce a horror, gain a time, or lose 2 times. Hey, those successes are really good. When all your worries, go by your worries, like the crazy killer. Okay, sure. We have Stabbing. Take 2 random item cards from those out of play and keep 1. -1 time. Take 1 random item card, -1. Gain a horror, minus time. That should be something useful around here. That's cool because it's like a search card that can be used anywhere. Discipline. Place a victim from out of play into your final gross card and take the victim benefit. Play the victim from out of play into your final gross and do not take the victim benefit. Or -2. So this could be helpful. Either A, you gain that benefit, which could be very helpful. B, it could get you just close to your final ability. Remember your teachings. And then finally we have Parkour. Move up to 2 spaces, skipping over a victim space with a killer or victim. Lose a time. Move up to 1 space, skipping over a space with them, or end your turn. So again, a different movement card. So those are really cool. Now, if you're really crazy and ambitious, you could opt to add more than 1 of these, or 2 of them, or you could be like, this is my signature card, so maybe your character starts with this card in their hand, something like that. Or maybe be interesting, like maybe an alternate way to play, not mention the rulebook, is maybe shuffle this stack, right? Shuffle this up, and then flip over the top card. So, like, I get Parkour, right? And then if you use Parkour, and when it goes back, after you purchase it, it goes back in. And then you flip over the next one. And then anytime you use it, it goes on the bottom. So that might be an interesting optional way to play it. So you have a constant rotating one, and maybe you have to pay that cost to get. So you get the 6 cost one. It's just going to sit there until, you end up playing it, right? So if you end up getting ambushed, it's just going to sit on there until you buy it. But the fact is, if you pick that card at the beginning of the game, it's just gonna sit there anyhow. But here would be a neat way to like do some extra things as well. All right, so then we have some game upgrades that we want to look at. We still have our final girls as well. We want to look at some of these game upgrades really quick. I'm just getting them out of the baggies. Sorry. I'm gonna drop those down. So we have a killer icon in Hourglass, which doesn't want to stand on my thing, and the Bloodlust token. So these are just meant to replace your stuff from the core box. So I'm going to grab the ones from the core box quick. So this was our core box blood token. That was that. And then you just use the extra red meeple to do that. So this is just replaces. You get a little hockey mask skull or helmet with the machete through it. It doesn't want to focus. Probably too much stuff on the screen. Sorry. There we go. We had it focus for a second. Alright. Anywho, though, the horror tracker listed on there in case you didn't know it. Yeah, then you have a big hourglass, which I kind of like. A little bit easier to grab. Then the bloodlust token, not really much bigger, but it looks neat. So these are just little upgrades you can do, and then you can just throw those back into the box like you would anything else, and then you have them available. So, for example here, I'm going to just back this up a little bit. I just threw the bloodlust in there. I threw those guys up with the meeples up there. I have all my special meeples in here. Now here's the thing is, where am I going to put all these extra dice? I can kind of drop the dice in there. I might have to drop that one in there. But we also then have all the extra cards. So we have all the extra cards. How are we going to fit all the extra cards in here? Now, I have them sleeved, so they are taking up more room. But here's the couple of things in here to explain why we could probably fit these. So here's all my regular cards. I could probably fit all my extra action cards in here. Like that. Obviously, I'll sleeve them if I do. If I take out these 3 boards. Now, if you bought the big set mat and you have a playmat, the playmat generally has spots for these. Otherwise, they might fit on there. You might just have to push them down. This might have to sit on there. I think the thing you're going to run into an issue with are our last extra piece. I'm going to set that over there. Is we have extra health tokens. Now, these are a little bit chunkier than they maybe need to be. But yeah, we have our 3 white ones, which are all double-sided. And then we have all our black ones, which are single-sided. Our blank, we have a double heart. We have a blank, 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 1 heart, 2 hearts, or 3 hearts. And you just replace your final tokens. Again, it's a little bit easier to grab, a little bit bigger than just using the standard little tokens on here. So like just as a comparison, of course. Those are your standard tokens. Now, you only normally have 2 of these. So why do they give you 3? Because there's several different sets in the game that have you do extra... They give you extra, sorry, my brain's not working here. There are several killers that have an extra health token, so it's just to help to replace them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, we just get the 1 extra one. Yeah, these are kind of cool. Again, I don't know where you're really going to put them in here. Because now we're running out of room with the extra dice. So again, if I look over at this, there's not really a great space for them in here. Because they're not going to really fit in there, and this is where all the meeples fit. Alternatively, you could do something like dropping these guys over here. You know, and dropping all your health tokens in there. I just want to see what they look like. Because again, if you're replacing all of these, like the time and the other one, you can get rid of them extra meeples. You can drop all of these guys probably in there. You might have to line them up to get them to fit exactly. I just chucked them all in there. But that might be an option too. Otherwise, you might just have to maybe keep that box of props around for some of this stuff. Because these guys can always just kind of lay on here. That guy could drop in there. And then we have our thing. Alright, then we have one more thing to look at for this box is the extra Final Girls. Alright, so I think I figured out, at least for now, the way to put it in there. So I have all my cards sleeved in there. They're a little bit, a little pushing in there, a little bit heavy. But again, if you get a little bit thinner sleeves, they might work. I moved all my hearts over here, put my meeples in there. Ultimate dice, regular dice, all the tokens, desperation dice, tokens. I also put the killer one listed in there. It could possibly stick in there. But hey, they seem to fit everything. The only card I have extra kind of floating around is this, which I could put underneath, but it's not that big of a deal. And of course, we got our rule book, our thing, and we can go ahead and close that. And now I have all this stuff stored in the core box. So then I have the empty props box, which again, I could use to take out the extra stuff, throw it in there, throw any extra things I have from other whatever's in here. Or, like I showed earlier, I showed in the Ultimate video as well, you could take this out of the storage box and you could put in one of the other sets. So in case you got like the, if you got the, Nightmare or the North Pole set, you could put that in its place instead, or you just have this extra box in there. Again, you could always put like just all your extra dice in here instead, and then have one or the other, you know, various things there, extra storage basically. All right, then the last thing we had that was in the prop box is our Final Girls. We have 4 new Final Girls. So we're gonna start with Layla here, who has 5 health. She gets every victim she saves her 1 health, 2 time, 1 move space to move, take 1 action, maximum 2 time, or reduces horror. If we flip her over, her ultimate is choose a signature action from out of play and take it into your hand. Great traditional victim save, recover health. So I always like when they kind of do this. Some of these promo cards do this. They have like, hey, here's a new feature of the game, and then these specific girls tailor directly to those things. She does kind of make them like, hey, this is only really good if you're going to play with that deck. If you're not playing with her, then she's kind of useless for this backside. But that's, you know, your call. We have Agnes, who gets 1 health, 2 health, move 1 space, 1 time, 1 time, or minus a horror. But she has gain 2 ultimate dice of your choice. So instead, she gets 2 dice instead. For experience, she knows what she's doing. So again, really cool to be able to get that. Just a neat way of, like, you like these mechanics, these might be a new way to, like, add them in, like, especially, like, oh, I played this scenario with this, play with this person, play with this one from the sets. Now I'm adding these new mechanics. You can try out these new abilities a little bit more. Then the last 2 we have are very interesting. So first of all, you're going to notice the artwork. I'm going to show both these right away. We have Julia and Constance. They have different artwork. They are from a crossover or a game from Van Ryder Games, who makes this game. Their logo there, Van Ryder Games, and Lucky Duck Games. It's called The Dark Quarter, which is a horror-themed game as well. Uses the tablet to integrate with stuff, and these are 2 crossover characters. So, although all the other promo characters are currently going to be getting miniatures in Season 3, or Series 3, these 2 will not, because their miniatures are part of that game. They feature this, so they might try and see if they can work something out to get them to match these ones. But they're not promising anything. So if I, just by glance, if I know, I think Julia is supposed to be a vampire of sorts. She only has 1 person she has to save. So it's kind of interesting, because we looked at the ultimate dice. You had to have at least 4 to save someone. She's going to have to save a lot of people. But she gains 1 time. Like, she has a very unique ability. She says, you may kill a victim in your space and choose one of the following. Recover all health, inflict damage on enemy and recover health, or immediately move 2 spaces ignoring the movement penalty, then flip this card back over. So she's going to constantly be rescuing a guy and then getting a thing and then taking him out, and then rescuing and taking him out. You rescue one person and you take out someone else. This kind of thing is just a representative vampire thing. That's a really neat mechanic. And then Constance, I believe, is some sort of witch. And again, I didn't dive into the lore of the game. But she gets 1 health, 2 time, move 1 space, take an action card of max 2 time, or take the top item card. So all about, but her ability is, you may use any weapon in your hand from range 0 to 2. So kind of turning any weapon into like a spell. So I think the idea there. Again, that's really cool. All of a sudden now you're wielding around this sledgehammer at 2 range. That's nuts, right? Or stabbing people with dice from a knives from a distance. That's pretty cool as well. Now, these guys, again, I think there's going to be a big storage box in 3, kind of like the box of props or the cast and crew for 3. Essentially, this is going to fit all the promo characters and the miniatures, and these guys would go in that box. Otherwise, for now, you just either got to stick them like underneath the box in the storage box or cram them in one of the other boxes. There's not really any extra room for them. Alright, so then the last thing we want to look at for the Ultimate Box is the playmats. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. And we have the Series 2 game playmats set, and I always get 2 of them. I love that it comes to looking like a VCR. A little bit upgraded VCR from the first set. 3 a.m. blinking, hi-fi stereo, slash vision. I don't think there's anything on the other sides, and then the back is just going to show the mats off. So let's jump in and look at what these look like. I haven't even unwrapped them yet. So we're going to get 2 new playmats. Are playmats ever necessary? Absolutely. 100% never necessary. They're just there to make your game potentially more enjoyable, but now you might think, why are there Series 1 and Series 2 playmats? They have changed them a little bit, and I will do a separate video where I compare them. But they basically, they get 1 for someone that only picks up Season 2, they have playmats. Someone that only picks up Season 1, they had playmats. So you weren't stuck having to go out and buy Season 1 stuff just to get Season 2 playmats. I'd buy the full box for it. But yeah, so these are kind of cool. They're all neoprene mats. So here, this is basically going to take place while you're stuck on the main board. We have a spot for your dice to hang out, your items in hand, 2 hands, single-handed weapon, your horror track, and it says, use the outer dial for extreme horror. So use this. It says it's 1 green versus 4 red. Epic horror drops that to 5. So you just combined it versus having that little board that flips over. Spot here for your extra health tokens. If you need them, your final girl, your play area, for dropping cards down. We have backpack cards. We have a spot for 0 cost card actions. Over there, we have a spot for special action cards. So if you have any special actions that come out. Now, one could be the ones we just saw, the special actions from there. They could also be, if you have one from, like, one of the locations or killers that give you an extra thing, like flying the helicopter or something, you could put them there as well. We have every dead victim goes there. Terror deck and active terror cards. This is kind of like your gameplay area. And you can use this mat. You can use both mats. You could use, a combination of Series 1 and Series 2 mats. It just kind of depends on how you want to play the game. So then we have the second map, which is just as long, so they do kind of go, so you can put one kind of like above or below the other one. And if we jump over and look at this, so we are going to have our killer board. So this takes place of, you just lay the killer board basically on here. But then we're going to have our finale, vignette, Bloodlust track cards. So they have this just set up, so if you have the regular board, just drop that on there. But if you're playing with one of the special ones, like the vignettes, you have the little spots to put them on there. So that's kind of nice. Special film feature board. So if any of them have special cards, you can drop them there. Spot up top for your minor dark power cards. Feature film special cards, so bigger cards. So if they have any like extra large cards like the Divine Powers from Sacred Grove, and the killer there, or if you have something extra special that just goes in there. It's kind of helpful to have these, just putting places on the map for these. Again, do you need them? Nope, you can put them wherever. On the other side, we have our location board. We have a spot for the setup card, the event deck. So instead of having them just sitting on the top, they have a special spot there for each one. And then have up to starting event plus up to 4 other events, because sometimes they don't go away. Victim pool. Additional components that may not be present in all games. Just then saying there might not be all of these in every game. We have your 3 item decks plus a bonus item deck, like a crafting item deck or blood testing kit, stuff like that. So yes, these are really nice. They're might be helpful, again, more for maybe like newer players, beginning players, just so they know where to put everything. just for sure, like, okay, I know exactly this is where these go, this is where these go, and then instead of having to try and always refer to like a rule book, but they're not necessary. They're fun to have. I will do a separate video where I compare this to the Series 1 so you guys can see the difference. I don't think they made one for Series 3. I think they made a different type of playmat that adds on to these. I don't think they made a third additional one. But that is what we would have for our full box. The Ultimate box, you just roll back, go back in there. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what else you'd like to see. If you'd like me to check out anything else, do anything else for the Final Girls, check out the rest of the videos. Check out my other channel where I'm going to try and do some gameplay videos of these. See you guys later. Bye.